Do you feel a call from the cosmos these days? We are getting an urgent cosmic message to upgrade how we understand ourselves as human beings. The changes that are happening on this planet right now are profound. With the way technology is advancing and how all nations on Earth seem to be realigning, something big is in the works. It is critical that right now we pivot to a higher cosmic understanding of what it means to be human. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. Let's step back for a moment and assess our planetary situation. On a purely physical level, our entire civilization is being reordered politically, financially, and culturally. AI is on the verge of changing how we function entirely, and more people are acting out the collective unresolved trauma that has happened over the past 4 years, starting with the pandemic. And I think our nervous systems are collectively feeling pretty fried. So we find ourselves in the midst of massive, unpredictable chaos and uncertainty. What is the best way to view all of this? How should we respond? Let's start by viewing this as a signal that we must awaken at a higher level of consciousness. It is the only way we're going to get through this. We can no longer afford to center ourselves in accordance with the shifting and changing outer world. So let's view what's happening as a giant wake-up call. It serves as a wake-up call that it's time to stop waiting around to see what happens next. Because that is our human tendency, right? We tend to watch and wait. We are truly skilled at finding ways to procrastinate before making meaningful changes in our lives. We like to wait and see what happens before we act. But waiting and watching passively won't work anymore. Instead, we need to recognize that the time has come for us to consciously realign our thinking and take inspired action now. It's time for us to become the cosmic humans that we truly are. That's what I feel is a very loud cosmic message coming to all of us right now. Have you felt anything like this? It feels like a message coming on waves of light in the form of frequency. We are being called to enter a state of radical transformation as individuals on this planet. Some people will heed that call and many will not. But if you're here, you likely intend to heed that call. So let's talk about how we can do that. And I think this will help you see why this is so important. We are currently transitioning into an entirely new dimension of reality. If you want to know more about how that works, check out this video right here. Now, I don't want to talk about this in terms of numbered dimensions because that is far too limited. There are countless dimensions of life in this universe. Now, we are here in our current dimension that many refer to as 3D, but we are rapidly shifting into a multidimensional, interdimensional state. This is why things probably feel compressed and things are speeding up at an unbelievable rate. Before now, we were kind of isolated in one dimension of reality. That's the one that our bodies, our minds, and our emotions are familiar with. And that's also the one that our souls probably felt trapped in. But now that's all changing. And it's important that we learn to align with that change so that we can have a graceful experience of life instead of a very intense and difficult one. So the dimension that we've been in for eons of time is based on certain laws, principles, and frequency sets. And people have probably spent many lifetimes in this state. But I suspect that we may have reached our limit in terms of our ability to evolve in this space. And that might be why we are being pushed into a new dimension of reality. Humans have probably reached their capacity to continue navigating the old 3D reality. It has become such a repeat performance of duality in the form of war, violence, pain, suffering, and death. I think that after a certain point, it begins to look like these types of cycles are never going to change as long as things remain the same here. All it does is wear down the soul and keep people reincarnating over and over and over again in the same planetary situation, but just in different forms. So maybe we are being given a chance to try something new. Maybe our human souls are finally up to the challenge. Look at it this way. Prior to 2020, things were pretty reliable in terms of how the world worked. Maybe it wasn't great, but at least it was predictable. We subconsciously and consciously knew what the rules of existence were here. We were all mostly aligned energetically with the overall ancient frequency sets of planet Earth in its third dimensional form. But since 2020, everything has been breaking down more and more and faster and faster. And now we are living in a world that we probably would have never recognized prior to 2020. Now, I know that we can give a logical, time-oriented, surface explanation for why our civilization has been breaking down for the past 5 years or so. But I'm starting to suspect that something else is going on. I think there's more to this situation than meets the eye. I suspect that there may be a more powerful, higher frequency energy entering our dimension that is creating a vibration that makes it impossible for the old reality to sustain itself. We might be moving into a higher frequency set of laws and principles. We might be feeling the vibration of a new dimension that is drawing closer and closer to us. And if this is the case, I believe it is being orchestrated by higher beings or by the universe itself. Overall, I think it's a reflection of the larger evolution of the universe. It is possible that our planet is being stewarded by higher beings to shift into a higher dimension of reality. But this is not going to be a free ride. Not everyone is going to rise to the occasion. And this is why I said at the beginning that it would not be wise to sit around and wait to see what happens. This shift is happening now, and we need to start moving with it now. A dimensional shift is very, very powerful. It requires a lot from those who want to move with it. It requires transformation that is initiated from deep within oneself. It requires letting go of your former low-level way of interpreting things. We cannot continue to interpret ourselves in a three-dimensional way and then expect to automatically make this shift. Now, we humans are always looking for ways to measure things so that we can confirm that they exist. You cannot measure a dimensional shift. You cannot react to it as though it occurs in time like everything else that we've been accustomed to. A dimensional shift is an occurrence in nature that is not measurable from the ordinary perspective of understanding the movements between planets and stars. It functions from an entirely different set of laws and physics. This is why it doesn't work to react to it. The way to respond to a dimensional shift is to move with it. First, you want to become very sensitive to the energy of the planet in its current state of reality. You want to remember that you are an integral part of the natural world. It involves letting go and surrendering to a much higher state of being from within yourself. And I emphasize from within because you don't want to approach this from an external view. See, the external world is far too chaotic, and it will just put you in a reactionary state. The peace you need to be able to tune into what is happening at a higher level is within you. You won't find it on the outside. Now, let's talk about some practical steps to make this shift in the gentlest way possible. You absolutely need to take some time alone to yourself every single day. I actually think 1 hour is reasonable because this is so important. And the best time to do this is first thing in the morning. That's when your mind is refreshed and your heart is the most clear. Now, what you do at that time is up to you, but certainly you don't want to spend it scrolling on your phone. I recommend things like reading or journaling and meditation. Anything that gives you a chance to start your day from a calm, centered, relaxed state. Now, if you want to learn to meditate in a way that is deeply sovereign, where you can meditate on your own and also be supported with guided meditations specific to the journey of a spiritual awakening, you can get my Meditation for Spiritual Awakening course. One of the things that I really love about this course, and I very intentionally included this, was to teach you how to be able to meditate on your own without any external props or assistance. I think this is so critically important right now because we have got to be able to feel ourselves so deeply, and that we can do that on our own. And I know when people do that, the biggest problem they run into is their mind won't stop. Well, I've also included something in there to address that. And then I have, in addition to that, I think it's 14 guided meditations that are specifically designed and crafted for experiences that one goes through in a spiritual awakening. And when we talk about a spiritual awakening, I want to let you guys know that's not a one-time event. A spiritual awakening is an ongoing unfolding, like the petals of a rose, but it just keeps blooming infinitely because we are cosmic beings and we are continuously evolving and unfolding and moving forward in our journey. So if you want to check out that course, I will put a link in the description below. Now back to what I said about taking an hour to yourself. If you spend only 20 minutes in meditation during that hour, that's going to serve as your anchor point for the rest of your day. Plus, it will make whatever else you choose to do in that hour a lot more meaningful. So the first practical step to take for yourself is to take that 1 hour alone every day. Now, I have said in the past, well, if you can't do an hour, do 15 minutes, do 30 minutes, but you know what? I really feel like an hour is what we need to be fully relaxed and calm and get the greatest benefit out of that time with ourselves. So really going to encourage you to go for the hour, even if you have to get up an hour earlier. That gives you plenty of time to align your heart, your mind, and your body in the way that they were designed to be. Now, the second practical thing you can do is to reflect on several things about our time here on Earth and how we have come to identify ourselves as humans during our time here. In our old 3D reality, we identified ourselves as our bodies, our circumstances, and the sum total of all of our past experiences. If someone says, "Tell me about yourself," you are likely to answer with stories about your past. You might talk about your profession. You might say things related to your physical body. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's how we have done things here for eons. So you can start advancing your self-awareness with a little exercise. Take a look at how you are normally inclined to answer the question, "Tell me about yourself," in the regular, ordinary world of things. In fact, it would even be more helpful if you write that down. That way you can really see it. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong. This is just meant to be an exercise in self-awareness so you know where you're starting and you know what direction you want to take going forward. Next, notice that it is probably this self that you wrote down about that navigates through your entire day, every day. It's the self that decides what to do next based on what's happened before. And this self is important because it was basically crafted by you. So you want to honor this self as your own creation. You want to feel kindness and love toward this manifestation of yourself and of your time here on earth. Then you can recognize that it is this experience of yourself that you want to transform. It doesn't mean that you create a different set of facts about yourself. That would just be another version of the same thing in our 3D reality. Instead, try to see the oneness, the wholeness in this self that you just described. And also let it include your circumstances. Realize that this entire palette of life that you call your own also has your current energetic signature on it and within it. So what you want to do next is to change that energetic signature to something higher. This is what will allow you to move with our dimensional shift because it recognizes your life as a whole rather than as the sum of the parts. See, whenever we think about changing our lives, we usually try to do so in parts. You might say, I want to change my illness to a state of health. Or you might say, I want to change my house to something bigger or something smaller. Or perhaps you might say, I want to change my friendships to be more with people who I resonate with. You could say, for example, I'm so out of shape and I really want to become a very fit person. So we usually look for the things that aggravate us the most and we say, these are the things I want to change. And again, there is nothing wrong with this. And it's completely fine to continue making such positive changes. But now we want to add a transmutational force to that change. See, we literally need to learn how to straddle two dimensions at once. So at a 3D level, we can make changes to various parts of our lives and thus uplift the greater whole of our experience. But then, in addition to that, we also want to learn to view our entire experience, inner and outer, as energy and frequency. So what we're really doing is expanding our reality here, plus at the same time aligning with a higher dimension of oneness. Now, a lot of people think that living in a state of oneness means that everyone gets along and there is no fighting. That's not oneness. That's humans being peaceful and being kind to one another. But this doesn't mean oneness. And it can't be oneness because every single human is unique. We are not clones of each other. So before you start thinking about oneness with other people, think about oneness in your own life. And that can only be discovered through energy and frequency. See if you can sense your own magnetic energy signature that exists and permeates through your entire life. It is literally the vibration of your life. Now, when you do this, don't label it good or bad. Don't judge it. It is what it is. This is not meant to be a labeling exercise for your conscious mind. In fact, I don't even think your conscious mind could even handle it, to be honest. Instead, I suggest that you just be with it. Just be with the energy field of your entire life from within you and also outside of you. You see, when you see it all as energy, you're going to experience it as oneness. Really, all you have to do is just practice recognizing it more and more. Practice tuning into it. It's like you're elevating, you're expanding your consciousness and your intelligence to a higher level of being that allows you to hold your life in all of these different dimensions all at once and stay awake to all of it. I would suggest that you just view it as an effort to learn something new. And we're going to have to learn a lot of new things in the coming days. Oh, and by the way, this is also an antidote to AI if that's something you're worried about. This is a distinctly human capability that AI will never, ever have. AI cannot recognize oneness. It is literally impossible. And it most certainly can't form some kind of experience of it in the true sense of the word. See, all AI can do is recognize information in the form of patterns, infer probabilities, and make decisions based on that recognition. It's really a very mathematical process. So we humans will always be the superior species. Actually, let me give you an analogy. We can look at AI in the same way we look at birds. We don't look at how easily birds can fly and say, "Oh, they are so much better than us. We can't do that. That's really scary." No, we have birds in perspective. Now, my cat thinks she is superior to me because she definitely knows how to boss me around. And then I often look at her and say, "Wow, you stay fit and limber all the time when all you do is nap. It's not fair." But I am in no way confused about which one of us is the superior intelligence. I just humor her because it's sweet. So we can view AI in the same way. It is impressive and it's highly advanced as far as technology goes. But for heaven's sake, it is not a superior species. Now, the final thing I want to add is how incredible it is that we can effortlessly connect to the quantum universe. It's already built into us. Do you know that our only problem is unconsciousness? We don't have to develop all of these skills. What we really need to do is to wake up to them. I mean, the quantum field is the field of infinite creation. And it's built right in us. We're born this way. We can connect to it and we can create. We're creators. That is profound. You know, so many of our problems can be solved simply by becoming more awake and more conscious. We human beings are like untapped reservoirs of pure gold. We have a level of wealth inside of us that is literally beyond belief. I think the dimension we are shifting into is one that is more aligned with creators. And that's who we are. We are not programmable humans who are meant to live like slaves to some outside authority figures. So I encourage you to explore some of the ideas that I've shared with you here. Some amazing cosmic doors are opening for us right now, not in the future. They are opening in the now of things. So now is the time to take advantage of this incredible golden cosmic opportunity. And if you think carefully about everything that I've shared with you here in this video, what I'm really sharing with you is the very beginning of how to make a shift in how we identify ourselves as humans in the old 3D dimension of Earth-based reality, and how we start to shift out of that and move with this incredible cosmic dimensional shift. So with all that said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you feel would benefit from everything I've shared with you. And remember to check out my Meditation for Spiritual Awakening course, which I will link down below. And I would love it if you subscribe if you haven't already, because I will have tons more to share with you as we go on this journey together. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.